Alright, what's up everybody? Once again, my name is Matt, and welcome back to Let's Play Sonic Adventure DX. In the last episode, we completely finished Sonic's story, so in this episode, we're going to go and head on over to Tails' story and see what we got going on here, so let's go. And here we go. Let's do this. At first, you might not see much or many differences between the two character story. I know Sonic's story is very similar to Tails' story, but I trust you. But you're gonna have to trust me on this, that some of the other character stories are nowhere near the same. Like, as you can see, the starting cutscene, instead of just, Sonic lounging around and not really doing anything, we have Tails on a plane here, just, flying around, testing some new airplane mechanics. But, you may notice that and I'll actually point this out probably after the cutscene, more than anything, but you'll notice that I love the sound effects that they put in for this specific cutscene. They're just like those, crazy sound effects. And I love how when he crashes, he goes straight up. Like, that would normally stall the plane, and then he flies down. His plane is at an angle, and it's never supposed to go at an angle. Look, it's at an angle. If any of you guys get that reference, it's from Josh Jepson. I've been watching a lot of his videos lately. He's definitely one of my favorite LPers out there. He's a really funny guy. I obviously butchered that quote, though. Anyways, lens flare. And then, see, obviously, I'll just point this out now, that obviously we're not doing the first Sonic stage where he'd run across the beach and rescue Tails. His hand is, pulsing. His entire body is pulsing to, a heartbeat. I mean, I guess they kind of wanted to do that to make it look like the characters aren't lifeless and stuff. But seriously, that's like, my hand is having a spasm. What's the point of that? But anyways, see, and the lines of dialogue are slightly altered too, but they basically say the same exact thing. Well, at least for these portions too. Some of the other character interactions, between Tails and Eggman and, Dr. Robotnik. If you're an older Sonic fan, I'm just gonna call it Eggman because that's what the game does. That's what the game calls it. So, if I was playing maybe Sonic 1, I would probably use Dr. Robotnik, just to, not. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but you get the point. The game calls it that, so I'm going to call it. And see, if you look in the background right there behind Tails, there's actually something that blocks off the stage. And you can actually glitch Tails into that stage. I might show that off at a later date. Maybe as an extra sort of video type thing. Because you can actually glitch some of the characters into the other character stages and just play through them as that character. Which, it obviously opens up a lot of fun things to do, imagine being able to fly around at Sonic stage. You could probably beat it in 30 seconds. Or the first Sonic stage. I mean, you could probably beat it in 30 seconds. And even some of the other Sonic stages, like Sky Chase, Action Stage, you could probably fly that one through later. But, yeah, anyways, right now we have control of Tails. And, up here, there's nothing in there like in Tails' story, because we already got it as Sonic. But there is an upgrade for Tails that we can get already. That's probably can be easily missed, I would say. I'm not sure how many, well, it depends on how many times you've played the game. Obviously, I've played the game a lot of times. A lot of times, good grammar there. A lot of times. So, I know where most of the upgrades are. And there's one here. If I do miss one, please tell me and point it out to me. And I will definitely try and go back and get it. But here's the first upgrade that I believe you can get as Tails, called the Jet Anklet. And it allows you to fly faster, which is actually very useful. Because if you fly with Tails, it's basically on a timed basis, so speed is a good thing. You can hover in the air for a few seconds, and then you'll go as far as you can in that amount of time. So the extra speed obviously helps you, and you can do a lot of cool stuff with that. So that's about all we can do in Stasia Square for now. We're actually gonna have to head straight to the Mystic Ruins and continue on there. So there's no action stages yet. And we'll just get in the train and head off to the Mystic Ruins and see what awaits us there. Again, so the way the storyline kind of intertwines with all these characters is the character's story basically starts near the point where you first meet them. That's why Tails' story and Sonic's story are so similar, because their stories almost meet each other at the same exact point. So, for the most part, it's not gonna... the levels will be mostly different I'm not gonna say mostly different, but there's different mechanics to them, and I'll explain that when we get to the point. But you know, so Knuckles' story, for example, is going to start probably 2 or 3. I don't know how many many levels, but probably a few levels after Tails' story started. So, well, if you compare it to Sonic, it's going to start like 5 levels or something like that after Sonic's story started. So it's going to pick up there and then go about until the end. And they all kind of end generally in the same area. That's why, you know, some character stories are super short and some of them are, you know, just as long as the original. But yeah, so like E102's story is kind of an exception to that rule because I think there's actually only 4 or 5 levels in E102 stories. But it kind of follows like a different storyline than you would expect. Like it doesn't really follow along with Sonic and his friends, you know. But that's because he's on Eggman's ship the entire time. So I guess they have a little leniency there. Anyways, now we should actually pay attention to the game. But yeah, as you'll see, the recycled boss fight, it's the same exact boss fight as Sonic. Only difference is now you have Tails and you can fly. That's the only difference. It's the same 3-hit boss. All you gotta do is wait for him to fly down at you and hit him. And it's basically that. So yeah, I mean, not much new going on here. And again, thrown into a boss fight without any gameplay mechanics. Yeah, and you can fly in the air like the Matrix, so that's pretty cool. Have like those missiles fly by you and be all like Neo's Tails. That'd be cool. But yeah, 2 hits down and 1 to go. Again, not a hard boss fight. Really easy. Probably won't even take us out. I doubt it'll take us more than a minute to beat. I want to see if I can beat it under a minute, because well, it depends on how long it takes him to turn into his little stupid drill form. But I'm betting we could beat this in under a minute. Come on, we got 4 seconds to beat this. 4, 3. Oh yeah, I'm gonna call it that I beat it because this cutscene it was like 5:59, like probably 58 when I actually hit him. But you know, you have to wait for the cutscene and the explosion to play out, so it's 1:07 technically. But I'm gonna say I actually delivered the final hit in under a minute. So you know, I'm just gonna say I did that to make myself seem cooler. Ah, oh, dang it! I forgot to show something off in Station Square real quick. I might have to head back there and show something off because I completely forgot about something. But I actually did do something that I didn't do for Sonic's story during Tails' story, and I actually played through like the first 15 minutes of gameplay before I started recording. I was laughing at the sound effect that it's making. It's making one of those like weird squishy sound effects I would hear in like an old cartoon or something like that. But yeah, I played Tails' story for a few minutes before I started recording it. So I know a few things that I have to go and pick up and show off in the game. And Eggman's using the Force again, you know, because he can do that. He's like a Sith Lord. That's his part-time job. His part-time job is helping out Darth Vader on the Death Star and stuff like that. I mean, where do you think he gets his tractor beam technology and all his like futuristic weapons? It makes perfect sense. They could totally do a crossover of Star Wars and Sonic. I could totally see that. That'd be funny. And there you have it. Chaos now has a robotic arm. And you already know how I feel about robotic arms and Super Strike and how I think that would be freaking awesome. So we're not going to go into that again. But yeah, as you notice, the dialogue is actually slightly different than it is on Sonic's story. So it explains the same thing, but it's just written differently, I guess. I don't know why they did that, but I guess it's just to add some variety into it. I mean, they could have kept the dialogue the same for all I care, but you know, whatever. We could actually skip these cutscenes, I think, but I'm choosing not to, just for the fact flashbang. We could skip these cutscenes for the most part, but I don't know. I think it'd be better if I just left them in there. So, anyways. Anyways, yeah, they're just, you know, sorry, I was adjusting my volume through my headset. Because what I have the way I have it set up now is my mic goes into my computer, and it records through, you know, the pink cable thing. Alright, there's probably something I should show off real quick while we're here, and let me do this real quick. But with Tails, you can actually fly up to the top of his workshop, and that becomes important for this part, because if you look around over there, there is just a Sonic token, you know, hovering in the distance. So we're going to go ahead and grab that, and that'll bring our total up to 14. And there is actually one more of those we need to grab, so we need to head back on the train to Station Square. I totally forgot to get this while we were there. And apparently you can't fly over that way. So I'm going to head back to Station Square real quickly and grab this thing, and then we'll come back to the Mystic Ruins and hopefully be able to fit in the first level before I have to cut the recording and start anew. So yeah, I already did play through the first 2 levels. They're really short. I should have no problem. Basically what you have to look in Station Square, there's a lot of emblems in the adventure, or Sonic tokens I guess is what I'm calling them, in the adventure fields of this game. And it's easier to get them with Tails than any other character, I think. So I'm probably just going to be picking them up while we're doing Tails' story as they become available. So there's your second one right there. So already 2 Sonic tokens while we've pretty much done nothing so far. So we're going to go back to the Mystic Ruins, and we're going to quickly start the next stage and hopefully beat that, and then I will call it a day. We did a lot of stuff in this story. We did a lot of stuff in this episode. We started Tails' story, got 2 adventure field tokens, and about to get another one. Yeah, I think it's another token. We're gonna get it. Well, you'll find out. The only thing I hate about Tails is that I find it harder to pick up things in with Tails than I did for Sonic. Because if you press Tails, he does that weird like spin attack type thing, and I find it really hard to pick up stuff with that for some reason. I don't know if it's just me or if it's just the game mechanic. I put the key there and it's doing its thing. I actually wanted to show something off real quick. Back over here, if you look behind this waterfall, there's actually like a Chao egg there. And if you want to get at that, you need to come over here and like hit this thing, right? So it goes back in the rock and it shoots the Chao egg out, and then you gotta wait for it to come down at the shore, and then you got to pick it up and bring it to the Chao Garden. You can hatch it, and I think this one's just a silverish Chao. That's what it looks like. Yeah, it's just a silver Chao. So it's just one hidden in the adventure field. There's the gold one back in Station Square, if you remember from Sonic's story, that if you picked up, it would lock the thing. There's actually a way to get that out. I think you have to replace it with just a normal egg, and you can get it out. But anyways, Windy Valley, Action Stage 1. Tails' action stages are a little bit different than Sonic's action stages in that they're technically a race. It's basically you versus the AI equivalent of Sonic, which is like comparing you to your 3-year-old cousin or something like that. Obviously, you're not gonna lose unless like you're playing in a completely different room without a TV, upside down, suspended in midair. Basically, you're just not gonna lose. It's not gonna happen. I mean, the odds of the AI beating you in these stages are ridiculously. I'm just gonna say it's impossible. It's impossible for the AI to beat you unless there's something wrong with you. So, watch, now the AI is gonna end up beating me in at least one of these stages, and then I'm gonna look like a complete and total retard. But stuff happens, I guess. Where am I off to here? Oh, there we go. Grab that checkpoint, and yeah, these floating rings are suspended throughout Tails' story. And what they do is they just boost you through. So if you can hit all those, you'll be golden, man. I mean, there's no chance. If you missed all of them, you would still probably beat Sonic. But just having the extra ability to run through the stage a bit faster. And actually, if you notice, Tails' stage started a bit later on in the stage than Sonic's did. So I think it's actually a tiny bit shorter. Yeah, because we're already at the end now, so it's actually a little bit shorter. It only took us a minute, and we already beat Sonic. As you can tell, he's really far behind us. So there's no chance that he's gonna beat you, even if yeah, there's just no chance he's gonna beat you.
That wasn't too bad.
And the camera glitches out during the ending cutscene. Good job there. There we go. We got a total of 16 Sonic tokens already. We're back in the adventure field. I think there's actually another cutscene coming up, if I'm not mistaken, because now that... Oh, maybe not. Yes, we have to go to Casinopolis. That's our next destination, is Station Square, Casinopolis. Unfortunately, we're approaching the 15-minute mark of doom and destruction, so I'm going to cut it here. Actually, let's just take the train to Station Square. Why not? It only takes us about 20 seconds to get there, not even. Through the magic of teleportation-ness, we will arrive at Station Square momentarily. There we go, now it's Station Square, and as you can tell, it's nighttime, which means we can go to the casino part, which is back here. So in the next episode, we will take on Casinopolis Action Stage. I will see you guys then.